Hi Sagittarius, my name is Linda. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have your October reading here. I've already shuffled the cards and laid out your spread. So this is where you are now, the challenge you face, the resources you can use, the hidden forces, the potential outcome. And from the runes, we're going to pull one to give you insight on what is the spiritual lesson in your energy right now. Okay. Give me a second here to tune in. Alright, so on this top line, it seems pretty clear. Where you are now, Six of Swords, it's just talking about moving away from a difficult experience or moving on from something, away from troubled times or troubled situations, troubling events or people, into a time that's a lot calmer and clearer and more peaceful. It doesn't necessarily mean that the difficulties are over, because as you can see, it's kind of, this card, for some people read this as a very happy card. And I don't necessarily see it that way. Even though it is an improvement on your situation, it's definitely moving away from turbulent times into more calmer times, but it may not necessarily mean that you're totally in the clear or that you're going to be right away in the best experience or the happiest time. It could still be that you have things to deal with and closure to achieve and things to wrap up, loose ends to tie, and those kinds of things, because you're still coming away with these swords here. So you are moving away from something difficult, but you still have some emotional clear up to do and some processing of events. And maybe for some people there's grieving. Maybe for some people there is, emotional healing or any kind of processing that needs to be done after a difficult experience to heal from it, to gather understanding and insight and meaning from your experience. Okay. Just heard the word fissure, so I'm going to look that up in the dictionary and see if there's anything there. F-I-S-S-U-R-E, fissure. A long, narrow opening or line of breakage made by cracking or splitting, especially in rock or earth. A state of incompatibility or disagreement. Okay, so somebody's coming away from a disagreement with someone, and maybe there's a split there. Okay, now in this position of the challenging energy, you have the Four of Pentacles reversed. So clearly, for some people in this reading, if there has been a moving away from a difficult experience, the Four of Pentacles in reverse is clearly saying you need to let go. You need to let go. You need to physically let go. And for some people, that could also mean there's a financial element here as well. For some of you, if there has been a difficult emotional situation or a split, for example, as we've just discovered from the meaning of the word fissure, then the Four of Pentacles could mean that for some of you, it might have been difficult to let go because there was a financial attachment or financial connection or a financial collaboration or bond, and maybe you had avoided or put off moving away from somebody for a period of time that was longer than reasonable because of your fear of financial loss. But here it's saying that it's better to move away and move on and suffer a small financial loss than to continue in a situation that is clearly not healthy for you. And yeah, it might take you some time to recover, not just emotionally, but then also financially. But that is much better than staying in a situation that's toxic and unhealthy for you. Okay. In the position of the resources you can use, Eight of Wands is here. I love this energy for you. It's very clearly talking about knowing. There's a knowing in this reading that even though it might be difficult to move away, there might be some attachment there for any other reason that I've mentioned. But the Eight of Wands here is saying you can trust that you've done the right thing, that you are doing the right thing, and you need to also follow through on what you know to be the right thing for you, even if on a practical level, on a financial level, even on a comfort level or any of those things, it might make more sense to stay in the situation, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, that the right thing to do is to move on. And what it's saying here in this reading is that when you move forward with the trust of what you know to be the right thing to do and follow through on it, the universe will support you. Eight of Wands is clearly saying that with that follow through on what you know to be true, there will be synchronicities, there will be affirmations from the universe, there will be support, there will be connections and networking, people coming towards you that are going to support you, environments and situations and people, events, spaces that are coming towards you, or like you're moving towards them. Energetically, there's like a resonant match between better things for you because you've trusted yourself enough to move on from something that was unsuitable for you or had gone long past what was reasonable for you to try to maintain or sustain, because you had either outgrown it or it has become an unhealthy experience or environment for you. And when you are confident enough and trusting enough to know that you need to move forward and do the right thing for yourself, even though maybe on paper it doesn't make sense because that was a comfortable space or that was a financially stable space or whatever, life will meet you in that energy of you doing what's absolutely right for you, even if on a material level it might not make sense. So trust what you know to be true for yourself. Move forward with integrity, with elegance, with poise and grace, and the universe will rise up to meet you. Now, the hidden forces here, we have Devil in reverse and the potential outcome, Sage of Wands. This is saying here that, again, I feel like there is this, as part of this moving away energy, something that you may be moving away from is a toxic environment, a toxic relationship, attachment, dependency, addiction even for some. And that energy is something you have become aware of. And so even though this is in the position of what are the hidden forces, I feel like what it's describing here is that you've become conscious of what was previously unconscious, which was all those things: attachment, toxicity, addiction, dependency, all the things that are described by the Devil card. Okay? Now, Sage of Wands in the position of the potential outcome. And then the rune there is called Torusas. I'll look it up in a second and read the description to you. But the Sage of Wands in reverse here, I feel like for some of you, even though there is a clarity here, there is a really strong clarity here, especially with this Eight of Wands. Some of you might still have some doubt and feel uncertain or maybe a little confused. And it's important that you stick with this knowing that you have, and don't let that doubt creep in. Don't let second guessing take over you. Don't let yourself double down on what you have already known or decided to be the correct action to take, because that will put you in a very sticky position. So trust your knowing that it's time to move forward and follow through on that. Otherwise, you might end up suffering much more than you need to. Now let's take a look at this rune. Yeah, Thurusas. It represents a thorn, and you can see that in the imagery. So let me read it to you. Reactive force, directed force of destruction and defense, conflict, instinctual will, vital eroticism, regenerative catalyst, a tendency towards change, catharsis, purging, cleansing fire, male sexuality, fertilization. And in the description there it says Thor, which is, Thurusas is maybe a derivative of the word Thor from the thunder god. It says that Thor, the thunder god, was of giant stock. So there's something there about fertility, male fertility, but also fertilization, or like just something big, largeness. But mainly what I'm taking from the description there that I just read is that there is something is being catalyzed here, and that's definitely what this top line is describing. There's change, there's movement, there's a catharsis, purging and cleansing fire here with the the Sage of Wands in the reverse. There's purging and cleansing here. It's a male sexual energy for sure, and with the Devil as well in the reverse position. Both of these are talking to me about again, vitality, eroticism, a regenerative catalyzation, and change, movement away from that, movement away from something that has been perhaps unhealthy or toxic for you because there is a tendency towards attachment or dependency there. Now, in the reverse position, this has come out in the upright position in your reading, but I'm going to give the reversal here because there is these two reversals on the bottom line, and so for some people this might be relevant. It says danger, defenselessness, compulsion, betrayal, dullness, evil, malice, hatred, torment, spite, lies. And that's what I feel is in this reading. If you overrule your intuitive impulse here towards movement away, you could be leaving yourself in a very vulnerable position where those are the things that you will have to continue to deal with, or maybe face to deal with, if you don't follow through on this catalyzing energy of moving away and letting go. Okay, Sagittarius, I'm just checking over here one final time, but I feel that's it for your reading. Just give me a second. Yeah, I'm hearing don't look back. Move forward, move on, move away, let go, and don't look back. Okay. For some of you, this, I mean, as these are general readings, right? This reading for some of you might be about leaving a partner or like a work environment or something that has maybe started out really positively and it seemed like very beneficial for you and was a huge forward movement and very beneficial change from the cycle before that. But now it may be at a time where things feel a little stagnant, overwrought, unhealthy, beyond, what is possible to see a resolution for. Some of you, it might be a toxic relationship, one that might be abusive. For others, it might just be your own behavior, like an addiction, or like could be something as simple as, overeating, or some kind of crutch or substance that you has gone past being like beneficial to you, and now it needs to be moved on from and moved away from. Okay, so it's a spectrum, right? You need to just figure out where you sit in this very general reading and discover what the relevant meaning and message is here for you, and act upon it accordingly. Thank you so much for watching, Sagittarius. It's been an honor and a pleasure to read for you. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading.